In 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte led a coup d'etat against the French revolutionary government. The French people were suffering an alternately terrifying and rudderless 10 years of revolution, and largely welcomed the authoritarian strongman. Bonaparte started winning battles, and he just kept on winning. He won so much they got tired of winning. Then came Russia, and when Napoleon needed to adjust his strategy to keep winning, he didn't, and he suffered a ruinous winter retreat that culminated in his exile. The coalition that defeated Napoleon was 10 months into a raging peace conference/kegger that came to an abrupt halt with news that Napoleon escaped from the island of Elba with 1,000 men and was back in France making a bid for the ultimate comeback. In a triumphant 100 days, Napoleon's army swelled with disillusioned former soldiers who wanted to make France great again. The coalition scrambled to field forces to put an end to his campaign once and for all. Napoleon faced a very narrow path to victory. If he could quickly attack the main body of the Brits and Prussians camped on his northern border, he could consolidate his position and sue for a peace that would leave him in power once again. The pivotal battleground was called Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo started well for Napoleon as he quickly put his enemies on their heels. But after the coalition recovered, it was clear that Napoleon's gambit to split the enemy forces would fail, as the Prussians turned his right flank, hooked up with Wellington's left, and put an end to Napoleon's campaign once and for all. North Carolina is Donald Trump's Waterloo. Or maybe it's Florida. Or is it Ohio? Actually, it's all of the above. He's got to win all of those and, frankly, a few more competitive states to win the election. But Secretary Clinton can't put him away. And sports fans like us know that if you let an underdog hang around long enough, the chances of an upset shoot through the roof. If Trump wins these must-win states, he's still 44 electoral votes shy of a majority. But Secretary Clinton got caught prematurely measuring the drapes in the Oval Office, and swing state polls are getting as tight as me in skinny jeans. Whatever happens with the presidential race, the Senate race is even less certain. Control hinges on races in Indiana, Missouri, Nevada, New Hampshire, and North Carolina that are all literally tied. This is nuts. In races that close, you might even expect some recounts. And I don't pretend to be some grizzled veteran that can tell you the details of Senate races back in the 1800s, but I have watched this stuff for a long time, and I can't remember this many toss-ups in an election where control of the Senate's up for grabs. It'd be really fun to watch if it weren't so important. And this election's finally going to end Tuesday, and when it does, somebody's got to govern. If Clinton wins, expect a Republican Party like it's 1999 when they impeached her husband Bill. Not predicting an actual impeachment, but it's going to feel that way from day one because the GOP will keep the House and will use the investigative powers to hobble Clinton right out of the gate. At that point, will Clinton adopt the pen and phone strategy to govern by executive order and regulation? Like it or not, you could hardly blame her. Congress has tacitly approved extra constitutional powers for the presidency for the past 20 years. If Trump wins, Democrat VP nominee Tim Kaine hinted at an impeachment effort against him. Good luck with that. Republicans are going to control the Congress and they won't go for it. But I do expect President Trump to face a barrage of media investigations into his finances and in legal cases. And apparently he sues a lot and gets sued a lot. America is dispirited by a politics that seems based on greed and self-interest. My good friend Dale Anderson asked me, how can we get all this money out of politics? Good question, Dale. We're going to spend about $6.5 billion to elect the president and Congress. 2 months later, we'll spend twice that on food and beer for Super Bowl parties. And that includes more than 1 billion chicken wings. Isn't our democracy worth 1 billion chicken wings? Don't answer that. At least most of the Super Bowl parties we go to are fun. Maybe we should just ask if we're getting our money's worth. That's probably a better question. But that's on us. Our politics reflects our culture. And look at last year's top Google search terms. It was things like Furious 7, Fallout 4, and Caitlyn Jenner. Oddly enough, national debt or tax reform never made the list. So we've watched this election for 6 weeks now. There's really nothing left to do but vote. You can vote early in a lot of states. Early voting and polling place information is available on naed.org/GOTV. Check it out. Feel free to share it with your employees. You know the stakes. You know the margins. Encourage your folks to get out and vote. We have messages you can copy and edit and send to your people to tell them how to get out and vote. You can't tell them who to vote for, but encourage them to exercise their right and allow them time off work to cast those ballots. Next week, we'll be back to recap the results and talk about NAED's legislative priorities for the next president and next Congress. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting NAED.